Welcome everyone to the Daily Dizzle for Wednesday, June 22nd, 2011. Tommy Dizzlemits here as always. Today we're originally going to talk about the summer box office so far. However, we got another topic to cover. We're going to push that one to tomorrow. We've got one that kind of ties in though. James Cameron was out talking about Avatar 2 and 3, saying, oh, we're going to do back-to-back sequels and they're going to be awesome and blah, 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 blah. Pretty much the same shit he's been saying since Avatar came out. He's been hyping up the second one of, oh, well, we still don't know if the first one is making money yet, even though it's making a ton of money. It just might not be profitable. But if it is, we're going to make more of them. And now they're finally getting to that point. Very interesting that they're going with the Back to the Future, Pirates of the Caribbean back-to-back sequel method. Considering that has never worked out so far, any franchise that has taken that route has ended up pretty much admitting, oh, well, we just want to, like double the opening of the first one with the opening weekend of the second. And then we don't care how much business we lose from there. When you do the back-to-back sequel shot, the only movie that has been able to outgross its predecessor was the Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, and that's because actually people still wanted to see it at that point. The business going into At World's End, where it opens just as big as the second one, but barely managed to pass the first one with its gross, kind of shows just how much goodwill was burnt off in the long run. And just in general, you look at all the movies this summer, the reason why things are not tracking as good as expected and the box office is going through another down year is because they've kind of been relying on sequels that people really didn't give a shit to see. The Kung Fu Panda 2 had 3D theaters and somehow still opened less than the first one. Even though, if you look at the ticket sales, that chopped off even more. Even with jacked up ticket prices and less people seeing it, but trying to pay more money, you still couldn't match the original numbers. X-Men First Class is the least grossing X-Men movie of the summer so far, showing that, hey, the more you put out an idea, if you're rehashing stuff they already know, like X-Men, you knew what was going to happen. You knew there was going to be a good guy and a bad guy established from the group, and they're going to be fighting each other the whole movie, and blah, 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 blah. The studios are just kind of trying to pretend like they don't know what's going on. That's why you have a movie like Pirates of the Caribbean 4, which is not even going to gross as much as the first one. So, despite the fact that it opened at twice the business of it, but if you look at the ticket sales, once again, it's just showing that people aren't going out. And especially with 3D movies, it used to be with Avatar, you'd get, 80 to 90% of your ticket revenue was coming in from the 3D theaters, which was awesome because if it's a good 3D movie, people will pay more for it. And they'll feel like they're actually getting their money's worth and keep going and seeing it. And you'll get more money spent. Not like this shit like Thor and Green Lantern, all these post-converted movies where it's, oh, okay, even if it was something we knew we were doing, we're not shooting it in 3D. So anything with just people on screen when there's not shit blowing up and anything, it's not going to look 3D no matter how you look at it, whether you got the glasses or you're drunk and you're trying to make it 3D in your own way. It's not the way it goes. And now you have a movie like Pirates of the Caribbean, which will open at over 4,000 theaters, which is awesome. Half of them are going to be equipped with 3D, yet only a third of the attendance is coming from the 3D theaters. So it's showing that, despite the fact that, oh, it's a 3D movie, it's made to be seen in 3D, nah, I don't give a shit about 3D no more. And unfortunately, that seems to be the reaction of the audience who are going to see movies in theaters still, which in and of itself is on the decline if you want to look at ticket sales and box office grosses and everything like that. Hopefully at some point in the production of the sequels to Avatar, James Cameron at least addresses this issue of, okay, I get it, there's a lot of 3D movies coming out, and a lot of people aren't going to them because they're not worth seeing in 3D. Do you remember Avatar? Do you remember how immersive it was? It was awesome, blah, blah, blah. Because the first one, I have to say, if you saw it in a 3D theater, it was an experience like no other. Anything with like the holograms and the Star Wars technology actually seemed like it was beaming out at you. That's the best way I can describe it. Just you could see the 3D models of everything, and you really thought it was in front of you. However, if the audience turn around and they end up ditching 3D in the next couple of years, and 3D is the thing that Avatar relies heavily on to make most of its money, James Cameron might make history in another way, as being a director who managed to create a multi-billion-dollar franchise in Avatar with the first movie. And he might be able to waste all the money here in Fox Studios by the time he actually gets the second and third one made and produced and put out. They come back as money losers. So I'm not saying that I hope Avatar 2 and 3 lose money, but if they're not good movies, they're not going to make anything. So we'll have more on that story as it develops in the next half decade or so, considering how long it took him to put out Avatar, like almost 20 years. So yeah, he might be talking about Avatar 2 until he's dead. So we'll have a follow-up on that if we hear any follow-up, or if the studio decides to get cold feet and can the whole thing. Though they probably already spent like $100 million just to take up his time talking about the idea. So I'm sure more news will pop up on that in a little bit. But until then, that's all the time we've got for today's Daily Dizzle. Be sure to check back tomorrow, as we will have a better picture painted for just how shitty of a summer it's been at the movies so far. So for the Daily Dizzle, I'm Tommy Dizzlemits. We'll see you Thursday.